Hey everybody, how you doing out there? So it's time to do my 3-year review of what it's like living here in the villages. If you're new to my channel, my name's Jeff. I've been living here in the villages since 2022. Today it's October 26th, 2025. So it's been 3 years and a month. So I thought I would share my experience and what it's been like for me living here in the villages, my opinion on it. And I also put together some statistics on crime, health, housing costs, that kind of thing. And so I'm going to be doing this video a little different than my normal videos. Also, just so it's not overly boring, and if you have no idea what the villages is really like, I'm going to overlay me on top of me driving around the villages. So during this video, I'll be driving from the south end of the villages where I currently live, and we'll be going up north, driving all around and give you an idea what the villages is really like, hopefully. So let's get into it. I'm going to rotate this camera so I'm not eating up the whole screen, and you can see what the villages is like while I discuss some of the topics for today. All right, so let's do that. Okay, so forgive me because every now and then we've been looking at notes. Normally I don't do that. You guys know my videos. Bear with me as we go through it. I'm not giving investor advice. I'm not telling you what to do. Some of the information I got could be way wrong. I don't know for sure. Always do your own homework because, you know, I joke around that I'm 100% right 60% of the time. You know, when it comes to moving to the villages or buying a home or anything like that, make sure you don't go off of my word. Do your own research. Come and stay here. Maybe do a lifestyle visit and check it out for yourself. And that's really the best way to do it. And I would suggest doing it a few times. Just to give a little bit of a qualifier on where I've lived and a little bit of my background. I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. Around the 3rd grade, we moved to the suburbs of Cleveland in Middleburg Heights. That's where I grew up. When I was 17, I enlisted in the Navy and went to boot camp in February of 1982. So from there, that was in Great Lakes, Illinois. From there, I ended up going to a Naval Air Technical Training Center, Lakehurst in Lakehurst, New Jersey, and spent a short time there while I was getting my technical training for the Navy. And then I got my official orders to my first command, which was Fighter Squadron 21 at Naval Air Station Miramar in California. And then from there, I was on aircraft carriers and deployed around while stationed at Miramar. But when I lived in Miramar, of course, I lived on the base when I first got there, but then I lived in Poway, Escondido, El Cajon, Mira Mesa. So these are all towns kind of north of San Diego. In my 20s, you know, which was a great time to be stationed in San Diego. So that was fantastic. From there, I got orders to Glenview, Illinois. So I was in California for 7 years at various commands. I did the fighter squadron, I did security forces, and I was also attached to the base. And then when I was in the fighter squadron, I was based on 2 different aircraft carriers, the USS Coral Sea and the USS Constellation. The Coral Sea was out of Alameda. The Constellation was in San Diego at North Island. So I had a pretty good vibe of, you know, California's all about from all kinds of perspectives. So from there, when I finished my time at California, I got orders to Glenview, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago. Lived there for about a year while we were building a house in Wisconsin right across the border. So, and that was in Kenosha, and that's back when it was mostly farmland up there. It was really cool. I really liked living in Wisconsin, although it was kind of a weather shock going from San Diego, which has, in my opinion, the best weather in the country, to Wisconsin, which was really cold, to say the least. So then I did my 4-year station up there. Then my next set of orders were to Logistics Squadron at Naval Air Station Willow Grove, Pennsylvania. So, and while living in Pennsylvania, we bought a house in Telford, Pennsylvania. Lived there for, I don't remember, it's about 2 years maybe. And then we bought a new house in Percy, Pennsylvania, which was a really cute little town. I really liked living there. So did my time there, and I actually ended up retiring there. I was a logistics squadron and attached to the base later, and then retired there in 2002. And then from there, I got job offers to work as a defense contractor out of Southern Maryland, Naval Air Station, Patuxent River. So from that point forward, I was now working as a defense contractor, and I still am to this day. So that's been a real blessing. So I've been technically working for supporting the Navy in one way or another for over 40 years now. So I built a house in Leonardtown, Maryland, and love Leonardtown. Marion used to say it was like Whoville, you know, it was this quaint, cute little town. It's a real cool place. But because of Marion's medical needs, I wanted to get her to better facilities. So we ended up moving, and back then they really didn't have much going on as far as hospital care. So we ended up moving to Virginia. We actually lived in Williamsburg, Virginia. Absolutely loved that place. Williamsburg is a great town. But unfortunately, that's also Marion passed away. So, and I did a whole video about Marion, and I'll put a link in the description if you guys want to see what happened there. But yeah, I lost Marion when we were living in Williamsburg, Virginia. So then other places I lived in Virginia was Short Pump, which is a nice suburb just outside of Richmond, Mechanicsville, which is also near Richmond, and then Vinton, Virginia, which is near Roanoke, and that's when I was living in the Blue Ridge Mountains. And you might have heard in some of my videos I mentioned the Blue Ridge Mountains before, and really enjoyed motorcycling through there. And then from there I moved to here in the Villages. So over that expanse of all those years and all that boring stuff I just told you, I lived in 9 states, which I don't know, I guess it doesn't seem like a lot to me being a military person, but I think talking to most people, it's like shocking, you know, to think about it. But I love that lifestyle. I loved moving around, meeting, you know, seeing the different places and the different communities, and, you know, the USA is amazing. And I really enjoyed it. So I like moving around and scoping out different places and getting new experiences, and, you know, it's fun to me, and I really enjoy it. And I have that restless nature in me to move around, you know, and experience things. So yeah, so then I ended up here in the Villages 9 states later. So anyway, so that, you know, a lot of how I look at things, of course, is going to be compared to my experiences in life, and how does the Villages compare to other places I lived, but not just where I lived. I did pull up data on other places of similar size communities, right? So where we have a population of something around 85,000, I think it is. Let's start with maybe the growth or the population here of the Villages. So in 2020, now this is based on Google and Chat GPT. So I bounced around just to kind of, you know, you get kind of squirrely figures on the internet. So I don't know if these are 100% accurate or anything like that. Again, do your own homework. This is just stuff that I found doing my own research. In 2020, the population was around 81,000. And in 2025, now it's up to 86,000. That reflects a 5.62% increase over those 5 years, and roughly 2.75 annual growth based on World Population Review. So whatever that means. And here's some home price trends. Now I got different data on this, but so this is for 2024. Q1 2024 was 406.09. This is based on the FRED, which is the Federal Reserve something. I don't know. But Q1, they say 2024, the home price trend was 406,000 approximate. Q2 was 412,000. Q3 was 415,000, and Q4 was 424,000. From 24 to 25, and this is from Bankrate and Redfin data as of early 2025. The median sale price in January was around $377.5, which is a 2.4 increase year over year. Median sale price in mid 2025 was around 350. So that tells me maybe it cooled off a bit. I don't know how accurate this is, but you know, if you live in the north end of the villages, you tend to get, you can get homes because they're older, maybe at better pricing or lower pricing, and no bonds. And I know bonds is a whole topic we could talk about in another channel, but I'm not expert on that stuff. Basically, the bond is added to the price of the home, and the bond is used to help build the roads and all that kind of stuff. So when I first moved to the villages in 2022, I had no bond on that house, and I paid $319 for it. It was a 20-year-old house. It was in great condition, nice yard and everything. Then I bought this one in January of 2025, the house I'm in right now, and I paid $405 for it, $405, $406, and a $48,000 bond. Yeah, the bond thing's a little bit of a shocker, but you know, it is what it is. I got the house I want. So technically I look at it like I paid about $450 for my house. And it's a nice house. So I guess that's, you know, comparatively to other places I lived, I think it's very normal of a price, believe it or not. Now that's my opinion. A lot of keyboard warriors are going to be yelling at me about that, but that's okay. I can take it. Again, I'm no realtor or anything like that. These are just numbers I pulled off the web. I think it's fairly accurate. There are some that are still under 300 here and there. That might be an older patio villa or something like that up north, or you know, you can get new ones under 3 here in the newer areas too. I live right by Eastport, by the way, and there are homes that go up into millions, right? So the Villages kind of has it all. But what's really interesting about that is, no matter how much your house costs here in the Villages, we all get to enjoy the same amenities. It's really cool. So there's that. The thing I love the most about the Villages is the cleanliness. It is clean, as you see in the video while we're driving around here. It is absolutely spotless, and it's always spotless. I never see pollution or trash on the side of the road, or, you know, dilapidated stuff or anything like that. We do have kind of a strict guidelines on how to maintain the exteriors. I personally like that. You know, I like things being squared away, neat and orderly. It's not for everybody. If you don't like strict guidelines, now I'm not using the word HOA for a reason, because we don't have an HOA here. We have a CDD, and, you know, we pay amenity fees, which mine is like $190 something, I think, a month, and then I have a CDD at the end of the year, but it's not that much for what you get compared to an HOA. I think it's incredible. But anyway, we do have regulations. We have an architectural review committee. You know, for exterior stuff, you normally run that stuff through them for approval. I think it's good. I mean, for me, it's good because I like clean and well kept. Now, it doesn't have to be perfectly uniform. I have my custom landscaping done. I ran it through the ARC, and you can see video on that. The first draft didn't get approved. The second draft did get approved, and now I have landscaping I'm really happy with. And it blends with the neighborhood, but it's also different than my neighbors, right? And they have their own landscaping. So I like that. It keeps everything nice. If you don't like HOAs, or you don't like rules like that, and you want your cars on blocks in the front yard, this ain't the place for you. You know, I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying you're not going to be happier in the Villages. If you like things well kept, clean and orderly and beautiful, no matter where you're driving around, this is the perfect place to be. It is beautiful the way the Village lays it out, the way they take care of it. I like the way the roads are laid out. The landscaping, the common areas is unbelievable. So yeah, it's really, really beautiful here. And for me, it's I'm really happy with it thus far, very happy. And it's still growing. They're still building like crazy. It's almost like an assembly line here. It's incredible to see. But they do a really good job at it. All right, so let's move on to crime rates. Crime here is exceptionally low. Let's see, violent crime is 0.48. This is as of 2024. And this is according to Neighborhood Scout. Violent crime rate is 0.48. Property crime is 2.47. Total crime is 2.95. By contrast, national median violent is 4 and property is 19. So we're way below national averages. And for not just Florida, but for the entire country. This is a very safe place to live, in my opinion. It just is. The Villages has people that patrol, and we all kind of look out for each other here. So it's been my experience. It's probably the safest place I've ever lived. And again, like in the beginning, I've lived all over the place. So for the price, I think it's real nice. But then again, I'm a single guy living here, right? So you make your own call on that, but I like it. And yeah, crime rate's extremely low. So let's see, the crime rate in the Villages remain impressively low. This is according to Chat GPT. Violent crime is just 0.48 per thousand compared to about 4 nationally, and property crime is 2.47 versus 19 nationally. That's incredible. Got another note here I must have missed. Let's see, home values followed a steady growth upward in March during 2024, rising from 411 HPI in late 2023 to 424 by Q4 2024. Whatever the heck that means. Prices have slowly gone up, but they're pretty steady, and I think because of, rates and everything, the market is kind of cooled. I think once these rates come down, although, the Villages does have a lot of cash buyers, so the rates might affect people that move here that have to sell their home to the buyers where they're coming from, because the people they're selling to might need, the interest rates will affect that, I'm sure, in a lot of cases. But a lot of people that move here pay cash for their homes or whatever. They've been saving their whole lives. Or in my case, I put a lot of money down and I have a smaller mortgage, and I'm gonna, hopefully someday pay that off. But so, whatever your situation is, and that's all kind of relative, right? As far as insurance and stuff like that, from all the places I've lived, I have not felt a impact that made my quality of life change moving here, with the costs relating to insurance and, fees, amenity fees and things like that, electric bills. It's all about the same, I feel, anyway. I haven't broken down all my bills, but there's been no significant uptick since I moved here. If anything, I think I'm actually saving a little bit in some areas. And, I hate breaking down bills and videos. Well, a lot of channels here in the Villages cover that stuff. I just find that stuff boring as hell, and I don't want to get into it. But nothing significant. There's been no major change. We're centrally located, so I don't have hurricanes barely nick us. We'll get some pretty good storms and everything, but I don't think a house is blown down that I know of since I've lived here from any hurricanes. And I moved here like the week before Hurricane Ian, so there's been a couple that came through since I've been here, and it's not been bad at all. In my insurance company, I use USAA for my homeowners, and they're really great, and I've had no problem. Now, I can't speak for other people, because I've heard stories about, people losing insurance because they pulled out after a hurricane or whatever, stuff like that. But do your own homework on that. As far as for me, it hasn't been any significant change at all. All right, what else did I want to talk about? ELF and those stupid STD and STI rumors. Absolutely ridiculous. This is from the web, and we have a couple counties here, but it's generally Sumter County, which I think is the biggest county that runs through the Villages. It has some of the lowest STD rates in the state, especially among seniors. So you've heard this other crap online. It's BS. It's all BS, trust me. The so-called STD cabinet and all that is just a myth. It's a joke. It's funny. People like to make fun of us old people like we're a bunch of wild swingers running around and all that. It ain't the case here. And by the way, it's not as my friend says, it's not an airborne communicable disease, okay? You got to kind of seek it out. You know what I'm saying? I can't help you on that. Just, I don't know, behave yourself, or maybe date, quality, whatever. I don't want to get into all that because I don't want to be judgmental, but you know what I'm saying. Just, no, that's not a problem here is what I'm getting at. As far as I know, it's not a problem. Okay, and I don't want to know. I think that's the end of my notes. Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't know if that helps you all. Oh, here's some more STD stuff. While recent county level data isn't available publicly, historical figures show dramatically lower STD rates among older adults here, just 1 in 10,000 versus 6 in 10,000 seniors statewide. And I did do some research about similar size communities, because we're, you know, we have 80 some thousand, and I think a town, like a small town, is considered 100,000, right? Before I moved here, I lived in the Roanoke area, and Roanoke was like 100,000. So I did do some research on that, and we're not even close to any of those places. So yeah, this place is perfectly fine. It's great, actually. So anyway, so to sum it up, I like it here. I love it here. Will I stay here? Don't know yet. And I've always thrown that out there. The only reason is I miss the mountains. I love the mountains. And anytime I take vacation, first, that's where I head. I head out west. And I'll go off-roading and ride motorcycles through canyons and mountains and stuff like that. If I end up staying here, I'm totally happy with that too. It's that good of a place. And when I bought this house down here in the Eastport area, I live in Shady Brook. Right, I'm a mile and a half from Eastport. And Middleton is like a mile and a half in the other direction. Middleton, by the way, is a new town that was built for families, and it's really cool. It's really beautiful. They did a great job. I'm glad to see that, because there's a lot of people that work here in the villages that are younger, and they need a place to live that's nearby. So that's kind of what Middleton is about. And then I mentioned Eastport. That's one of the reasons I moved down here, bought this new house, was because they're building a new town center. I just did a short about it yesterday, and it's called Eastport. And it's fantastic. So speaking of the squares and partying and all that, you know, sometimes I get emails or comments saying, is it crazy there and all this kind of stuff? Absolutely not. There's a few town centers or town squares. We have Spanish Springs, which is in the older area where I used to live, North End. And then we have Lake Sumter Landing, which is really cool. It's based around a big lake there. And then if you move further south, you get closer to Brownwood, which is real popular and, you know, newer. Then you have Sawgrass Grove, which just opened up like a year and a half, 2 years now, maybe a year and a half, a year ago. I'm not even sure, but it's like still new. And then you have Eastport. Eastport and Sawgrass are real close to my house. And Middleton is kind of, you know, a town center as well. Yeah, it's very active here. If you love to golf, if you like riding around in a golf cart, there's millions of golf carts around here. I used to have one, and I might be getting one again because I just made room in my garage. I sold one of my cars. I actually sold 2 of my cars and got a new one, but now I have a space in my garage, room for a golf cart. So I might get one again because it was fun. I just ended up riding my motorcycles more and needed to make room in the garage and all that kind of stuff for other toys that I had, so I sold the golf cart when I was living up north. And but I am thinking of getting one again because they're fun. But everybody around here has golf carts. They drive all over the place. So if you golf, if you like outdoors, if you like to play pickleball, if you like to do all that kind of stuff, you'll love it here. If you don't, if you like to sit at home and enjoy your lanai, you can do that too. I live in a great neighborhood. It's super quiet, and if I want to go and enjoy live music, I got plenty of that here that I can go to. And so it's a great place to live. It's got a little bit of everything for everybody. If it's on your radar and you're looking for a cool place to possibly retire to, I strongly recommend you come and check it out. It's really nice. For me, the things that I look for, is it well kept? Is it beautiful? Does it have low crime? And, you know, just nice place to live when you're driving around and shopping and all that good stuff. It's got that great vibe. My advice to you is if you're in your younger or nearing retirement, let's say you're in your 50s or late 50s, early 60s, like me, Robin Cavallero coined the phrase, the Eastport Corridor, and I like that term a lot, which is like from Brownwood South. Come down here, and I think, you know, I see more and more young people. When I was living in the North End, I was the youngest guy in the area. When I moved down here, I feel like the oldest guy in the area. So The further south you get, everything's newer, but so are the people. And I love my older neighbors up north, and I really do. They were all wonderful. So if I'm just saying, if that kind of thing matters to you, and if you want to be people more your age, think about that. The older generations tend to live in the older areas up north, which makes sense because, you know, they bought when they were younger here, and then they aged with the community. And so now I'm in the new area, so I'm gonna, you know, hopefully grow old with this community if I decide to stay here permanently. Well, anyway, that's it. I hope this video was helpful. You know, I want to plug Robin Cavallero's page. She's an excellent realtor. She helped me with a lot of issues and gave me some outstanding advice. So check out Robin Cavallero. You can check her out at robincavallero.com. Of course, I'll put the links in the description. And also check out my buddy Donnie Whiteman's new channel based on his small aircraft flying around. Rock Cop Aviation. Great guy, really interesting guy with amazing stories. And if you live here in the Villages and you see Donnie, he's one of the nicest guys there is. And he's really an interesting dude. If you watch my channel, you know what he done for a living. And he was kind enough to take me flying in his airplane and stuff like that. So check out his channel, Rock Cop Aviation. Be nice to check out their channels, especially Robin if you want to move down here. I would almost start with her because she can point you in the right direction. And there is this weird MLS VLS thing here where, you know, MLS can't sell to VLS and VLS can't sell to MLS, and you want to check out both, and it's very confusing. So I just a recommendation, start with her and she'll get you on the right path. So all right, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Catch you on the next one. Take care of each other out there. Love you guys. See ya. Bye.